Yo, what's up everybody? How's it going? Today we're playing Medusa. We're going into the top lane. This was random draft. And I wish you all happy holidays and all of that stuff, right? Like I hope you all have a good time the next few days. Um yeah, I think I'm uploading this on the 24th. So I'm celebrating today because in Germany we celebrate on the 24th. And yeah, I don't know, like you guys go ahead. I wish you guys happy holidays, have a fun time. We were having a little bit of a discussion about storytelling in card games, so I kind of want to get into that right now. So I'll just kind of get ready for that. But I was saying that I think Artifact does and as much as I like Artifact, this is just something that Artifact fails at. Artifact does a really poor job at thematic storytelling through cards in its card game. Although Artifact isn't really that much of a card game. Artifact is really more of a turn-based strategy that has some cards. But anyway, that's a different discussion for a different day. Um, but I wanted to kind of bring up some examples of how I think it can be done really well. So I'm going to be talking about Artifact, Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, and Disasters. Which I know kind of like mixing my own game into that is kind of like I'm praising myself. But I'm not actually praising myself, I'm actually praising Jeremy. Alright? I'm kind of a little bit myself because some of it is still my stuff. But anyway, point being, I just want to, like I know that game and I want to give examples. Alright? So basically the thing is that I was saying that I think that Artifact fails at trying to do thematic storytelling through its cards. Now, what do I mean with that? Well, what I mean with storytelling isn't that there needs to be like a storyline, like an overarching storyline, and different cards tell different like parts of that storyline. And if you put all of the pieces together, now you know who has killed the king. No, that's not my point at all. Instead, what I mean is very small thematic things, right? So, for example, in Hearthstone, there is a card called what is it called? I said funnel vendor or something like that. I don't know. It's this cakes seller, right? And when you play him, he has his battle cry when you play the guy is that both players get healed for 4. Right? And the idea is, well, this is actually a really cute story that is being told through the mechanics of the game. As well as, like through the art and all, and the animations and all of that. But mostly, and this is the important thing, it's being told through the mechanics of the game. I'm gonna go ahead and put a Christmas tree down. I need some good luck here. This is not going too well for me. So, what do I mean if it's being told through the mechanics of the game? Well, the idea is that this guy is, does anybody remember what the guy is called? The guy is, again, like somebody that sells cakes at a tournament. Right? So he goes around and giving everybody cakes. Well, of course he wouldn't care who he sells the cakes to. So he just gives them to both players. Right? And so that means both players get affected by the cakes. What do the cakes do? Well, the cakes make you feel nice and, cozy and good, I guess. So they heal you. And that's it. That's the entire storyline. And that's storytelling, thematic storytelling through card games. Refreshment vendor. Yeah, that's exactly what he's called, right? Refreshment vendor. There we go. Alright, so that's storytelling through cards in a card game done well. Right? And it isn't like a huge tragedy, right? It's not like a million different layers of stories with different characters. It's just a very tiny thing of a guy selling cakes. And, the game actually properly incorporating the act of the guy selling the cakes and what happens when you buy a cake into the actual mechanics of the game. It's great, right? And having that kind of like thematic storytelling is really difficult. And it adds so much to a game. It is so valuable, right? So again, this is something where I think Artifact fails really heavily. It has almost none of it. And there are some things in Artifact, I'm sure, where they do have some, but overall, it just really doesn't have any. It's just not good at this. Alright, that's good. Let's just kind of keep getting hits in. Now, the game that does this the best is... What's his face? The game that does this the best is Magic. Right, Magic the Gathering does a really, really great job at that. So, for example, there are sagas in Magic, which are great at this kind of storytelling. For example, there's a saga of some sort of city, and it's about knights. And it's very clear what's going on in this saga, in this storyline that's being told, without having to actually know anything about it. Because here are the effects of the storyline. Or like here are the effects of this card. Okay? So it's a saga, meaning that it will come into effect over multiple turns. Alright, so you play it and then you have an immediate effect, and then you have effects over the next 2 following turns as well. The immediate effect is you get a knight. You get a 2/2 knight. The next turn, you get another knight. And then on the third and final turn, all of your knights get +2/+1. So they become stronger. But only for the single turn. I'm probably just dead here. Yeah. I'm just trying to like sit at the tower and make something happen, but it's harsh. Right now, you might say, okay, well, what does this story mean? What story is being told here? Well, it's really simple. It's a city, right? Because I think it's the saga of some city name, right? And this city is clearly going to war, and they are clearly just gathering an army right now. And then finally, after they have gathered enough of an army, now they are actually going and fight. And that's something that was told in the game, through the story of the game, without having to be explicitly stated. And that's good thematic storytelling in card games. Right? Maybe I'm using the wrong term for it. I don't know. This is just what I'm calling it right now. Right? So, an example from Disasters. My favorite card in the game, or my favorite set of cards in the game, in this regard. Hey, WWCCOOMM. Thank you very much. What is up, dude? But my favorite set of cards in this regard, regarding this, there we go, are a bunch of, it's basically like the Cult of Doom, is what I call it. So there are a bunch of cards in the game that like each tell their own individual storyline. The first one is the Doomsayer. The Doomsayer, what it does is you can use an action, which uses up your turn, right? So you can use an action to... Ooh, not die? Okay, well, I guess we're still alive. Good, good, good. But you can use an action to discard the top 10 cards of the deck and play any disasters that would have been drawn, right? So what does this mean? Well, from a kind of like a storytelling point of view, what happens is somebody runs around and shouts, "The end is coming!" Right? And because they are shouting, "The end is coming," they're actually speeding up the end. And it's actually coming sooner. Right? And this kind of like idea of doom causing the end of everything sooner and sooner because people are essentially asking for it is something that is shown in a bunch of different cards. So there is a different card that is called the Cult of Doom. I love the Cult of Doom. The Cult of Doom is probably the best piece of thematic storytelling in Disasters. What the Cult of Doom does is when the Cult of Doom, it's a disaster first of all. So when the Cult of Doom is already like a bad thing. But what happens is when you draw it, when it's played, all players around the table now have the choice to discard the top 5 cards of the deck and play any disasters that would have been discarded. Right? Now, what story are we telling there? Well, the story I was trying to tell, right, is that basically every player is offered the choice to join the cult. And every player that joins the cult brings the end of the world closer, because that's what the Cult of Doom does. It brings everybody closer to the end. Everybody shouting the end is coming is actually speeding up the end as a whole. So Oh, god damn it. Oh, there's the lion again. I'm having such a hard time here. That's fine. We'll just farm up. Like... Ow. I don't like it. Right, but everybody shouting the end is coming is actually bringing the end a little closer, a little sooner. Right? And when the Cult of Doom is drawn, every player at the table is offered the choice to join the cult. Right? And everybody that does join the cult brings the end closer. Right? And then there's the final piece of storytelling, and this one doesn't really do any storytelling on its own, but it only works in correlation with the other. But then there's just a disaster that's called Doom. And it's just called Doom. And what does it do? Well, it discards the top 10 cards of the deck. This time nobody gets a choice. This time it just happens. Because you all shouted Doom often enough that, well, there it is. You finally managed to make it happen. Right? And that's kind of what I see as thematic storytelling. And it's something that I think is really important in card games. And it helps a lot, right? It's just like one of those small little things where you can really bring something together. A different example of this is that in, for example, in the disco card in Disasters, there's like, there's like a disco painted, right? In the background, you have a DJ that is like making music and all of this stuff, right? And then on a different card, which is called Giant Fan, there's two different arts for that. So like one of them is just a giant fan, like a giant spinning fan. And then there's a secondary piece of artwork for that card, which is a guy standing next to that DJ from the disco, like taking a selfie with him. Because he's a giant fan, right? And that again tells a tiny, tiny, tiny story. A tiny, tiny, tiny story. So yeah, those kind of tiny stories are really cool and really add to the overall feeling of a card game, and they don't really exist in Artifact, which is something I find really kind of sad, right? Like, the only stories that are told in Artifact are told through actually like flavor text and through voice lines and all of that stuff. They're not told through the actual mechanics of the game. And it's actually something that card games are really, really good at. Right? It's one of the reasons why you would want to make a card game. So you can do this, because it's much, much easier to tell story through mechanics in card games than it is to do the same thing through in different kinds of games. Alright? So yeah. Anyhow. We get a lifesteal. It's not like a thing. Just casual Morbid Mask. I feel like we get a Satanic later on anyway, right? So I might as well just get a casual Morbid Mask. Morbid Mask is quite a bit cheaper these days, so it doesn't seem like it would be breaking the bank. Alright. But yeah. That's just something I wanted to bring up. Baumi, what have you done? You've just made us all shout Doom and the end is coming for no reason. Yeah. It's actually something I'm really proud of with Disasters. Like, Jeremy did a great job having lots and lots of smaller jokes and smaller stories like this in the game. And again, it's something that's pretty difficult to do, but it's really cool when it's done. So. Alright. By the way, I should maybe point out that I have a Quelling Blade, because I feel like everybody will freak out if I don't actively acknowledge it. So, now that you cannot start with Wraithband anymore, Quelling Blade is actually the cheapest way for ranged heroes to get damage when attacking creeps. And I know that it does less damage for ranged heroes than it does for melee heroes. I understand this. I am aware of this. Despite that, 7 damage for 225 gold is still far and beyond the most efficient option. Like, it's just not even close. There's nothing that gets anywhere near that value. So yeah, Quelling Blade is actually just kind of objectively really good, even on ranged heroes. And I know it is a little bit unusual, but if it works, then why wouldn't we go for it? Right? So yeah. We're just gonna kind of like farm up now. had a rough start, but we actually have a good amount of last hits. Like, we're actually doing reasonably well, so we can just kind of take it from here and just, again, farm up. I wonder what we should get. Playing against anti-mage, which makes relying on mana shield really rough. Like, I'm feeling maybe I should just go for, like, not that. Gaia? Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of that. Hey, Baumi, could you elaborate a little further on the topic of power creep? And you just mentioned that it wasn't necessarily bad. Oh, yeah, power creep is something that is generally seen as a bad thing. Like, whenever you mention the word power creep, people think immediately, okay, well, so this is something bad, right? It's like when I'm saying racism. Like, everybody's like, oh, okay, so there's a problem here. But power creep isn't actually like that. Power creep can actually be a good thing. Power creep is actually, like, more a neutral term. Maybe there's, like, a better way to describe power creep to make it so people don't immediately think that it's something negative. But overall, I wouldn't always say power creep is necessarily bad. So every game kind of has a power level at which the game is the most fun, right? Like, and that power level is needs to be very, very carefully selected. And for example, something that like League had a problem with recently is that they kind of tuned up the power level a little bit too much across the board. And as a result, you know, everybody was just a tiny bit too powerful and people were just one-shotting each other. And, you know, overall the community wasn't very happy with that metagame. While Dota's power level for most of its existence, I would say was actually a little bit too low for what would be optimal, right? So Dota has been continuously creeping itself up in power level. Dota, again, if you compare Dota today with Dota a few years ago, right? 2, 3, 4, like the further back you go, the weirder it becomes, right? But if you compare Dota today with Dota from a few years ago, you will see that it's really just not even all that similar. Like the Dota heroes today would wipe the floor with Dota heroes back then. And that's not a bad thing, because Dota today is actually more fun, and the fact that the heroes are more powerful really plays into it. So when I say Dota has been power creeping, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, what I really mean is that Dota has been slowly getting to the point where they are really have like a good, strong understanding of like how strong heroes should be exactly, and are slowly buffing everybody to be at that power level. But strictly speaking, it is power creep. Alright? Because everybody's just getting more powerful. Alright? Like Dota as a whole, like everybody's just getting more and more powerful. And it's just been going on, and it keeps going on, and everybody's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad thing, but that's just how it is. So yeah, that's what I mean. I hope that makes sense. Alright. I'm just gonna keep farming here. Alright, like we have pretty good amount of money. Like honestly, we're doing pretty well in terms of farm. I'm worried about the anti-mage, of course, but we do also have an Ember Spirit with practically nothing, it seems. Okay, so that's a problem. Okay. How's our Ember doing? 2 and 3. Viper is not doing that well. Anti-mage is free now though, so that's a problem. What about mobility creep? Well, mobility creep is just like a more specific version of power creep. Right? Like, it's kind of the same thing. Mobility means you're stronger. Right? Like, it's still power creep. Again, power creep can be a bad thing. It can be. But doesn't necessarily have to be. And Dota, I would actually say, is one of the few instances where they are power creeping, but they are being so careful with it, they're being so slow with it, that overall, it's actually been good for the game.
11 months. Time flies.
Hey, BlissOX. Yeah, it does. That it does for sure. Okay. Cool. Hey, we got ourselves a kill at least. Yeah, the ultimate came in clutch right there, that's for sure. And we killed the anti-mage, which I'm really happy about. That's what we need. That anti-mage gotta go. Okay. Power creep is balance equivalent of economic inflation. Yeah, but actually, funnily enough, yeah, I think inflation is actually a really good comparison. Because when I say inflation, most people think that that's gonna be a bad thing, right? Like generally you don't want any inflation. And well, strictly speaking, I guess, yeah, most of the time you don't. But there's actually a certain degree of inflation that is perfectly fine. And in fact, it could even be just healthy. Alright, so... Hey, get more mana steal here. They don't have that much mana on their heroes. I think I'll get more attack speed instead. Honestly, I feel like our main goal this game is just gonna be like... do damage, right? Be DPS. I'm not getting Manta because I feel like I just won't actually have mana to use the Manta. Again, mana will just be an issue. They have Lion, they have Anti-Mage. We're not going to be building and playing around the mana shield here. Mana shield will be more like a generally fine thing. If everyone is super, no one will be. Syndrome, The Incredibles. Yeah. Syndrome was great, villain. Okay, so is it just you? Okay. That's okay. I mean, it took a while, but I'm fine with it. I mean, that's alright. Like, you do no damage. Just against Dragon Knight, and it's kind of hard to do damage against Dragon Knight. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll start doing damage soon. Don't worry about it. I wonder if I should just get a butterfly. They do have a lot of magic damage, but I feel like my mana shield will actually be fine against that. Like, my mana shield will be good against initial burst, but it will just be useless in long fights. So, but most of the spells will actually be coming out as initial burst. So as long as we just kind of like deal alright with that, we should be fine, right? Or I could just get a Satanic. Maybe I do go Butterfly Satanic. No Mask of Madness, Is that something you buy? Maybe I should actually get one. I kind of was hoping to build this into a Satanic, though. Wait, can you still disassemble this? Might have been better to get a Mask of Madness, yeah. No, Nail's actually right. Should get a Mask of Madness. Maybe. Oh, don't stun me like that, rude. Okay, I gotta be careful. I don't wanna get jumped by the... Oh, no! Alright, we got him. Yeah, I don't wanna get jumped by the anti-mage, mostly. Like, that's not a hero I wanna get caught out by. So, I'm just gonna keep hitting you. Hey! Got him. Cool. You actually do damage? Yeah, no, like, the thing is, I do lots of small pieces of damage. Like, I'm not useless by any means. I'm just not a huge burst carry, but Medusa isn't a huge burst carry. Like, it's just... that will always be true. I will never be a huge burst carry, but that's okay. I don't need to be. Alright, let's activate that mana shield. Just make sure we got that going on. Ooh. Maybe not ideal here. Are we committing to this? I don't think so. This asshole. God damn it. I hate it when people do that. Just play the game, dude. You did not do the 20 minutes in the video thing. Yeah. You're right, actually. Sorry, I'm a little bit sleepy today, so if you guys enjoyed the video, you know, don't forget to leave a rating. Game is gonna be kind of interesting. So, does Anti-Mage outcarry Medusa? I don't think so. Right? Medusa wins that.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Like, the level 25 talent is just a little bit too much. Although, if this happens, of course, now that changes things.
Your tower is under attack.
That would certainly be something that might be problematic.
Has fallen.
Okay, let's just fall back. So now we definitely do damage. The butterfly will really help. Question is, do I need even more, or do I go for like a satanic now? If I have satanic, I'll have like a shit ton of status resistance. I'll have a lot of HP. I feel like satanic is just better. BKB? No, I don't like the BKB here, to be honest. I don't know. Something is just making me feel a little bit iffy about the BKB. Not really sure what it is. But kind of want to just get satanic. You know how sometimes I just get that gut feeling? I'm just like, nah, that just doesn't seem right. And I'm not really sure why. I can't really properly explain it, but like, it just doesn't seem right. Okay.
I mean, they only have like 5 million stuns.
Yeah, but like, that's exactly, I guess, it. Like, the thing is, I'll get stunned either before or after the BKB, right? And I feel like what happens is I either activate my ultimate before I get stunned, in which case I don't really need BKB during my ultimate,
Enemy's bottom tower has
or I don't, in which case I got stunned anyway, and then BKB doesn't do anything anyhow. And if I do get stunned, I want to get out of the stun as quickly as possible. BKB doesn't help me with that either. I would rather just have HP and status resistance. So that's just kind of like, yeah, I think Satanic is just a bit stronger here. And also it just lets me fight into the anti-mage better. Again, we need to kind of play Medusa as if she wasn't really Medusa. More like as if she was just a random ass hero that right-clicks people with split shot. Alright, just not rely on the mana shield, instead fully go in on right-clicking, split shotting, and the level 25 talent. And hoping we get to level 25. Get free Satanics, laugh at stun duration. I mean, that sounds like the way to go, honestly.
I think it stacks on the same item, though. Sorry to burst the comments bubble.
Hey. If I want to buy free Satanics to maximize my status resistance, then I should be able to, okay. I don't need that shit. So play like Drow? Kind of, yeah. Yeah, a little bit like Drow, just, you know, with a better Aghanims. And a really good ultimate. I mean, Drow's ultimate isn't that bad, but, like, just a really, really good ultimate. Stonegaze is absurd. 9.5 seconds duration. So. Okay, we got this. Are we just gonna like settle into a farming war? Because I'm okay with that. This is the one thing that has always stayed the same around here. If I get to just settle into a farming war, I will gladly do so. I don't care. I will outfarm you, anti-mage. Bring it, boy. Who's dead? Okay. Oh, so this is bad. Just disengage, dude. I'm not there. I'm not here. Not around for that. Sorry, guys. I wasn't around for that from the very beginning, though, so. Ooh, that's bad. So that wasn't good. I think we gotta get MKB here. Does Antimage have a butterfly? He's probably going for one, right? Like, if he doesn't have it yet, it's happening. Like, that is definitely going to be on the list. Currently going Basher, but yeah, like, I would be surprised to not see a butterfly eventually, so... Let's go for that.
Your top tower is under attack.
Okay. Well, we're just back to farming. I mean, this seems to just be the game. I suppose that's fine, though. Only thing we don't want is them getting Roshan. That would be pretty bad for us, I think. But this will help a little bit with damage, because we actually have really high attack speed. Like, really crazy high attack speed. So, you know. Get an MKB. Or just even only the 100 extra magic damage every once in a while. It's like 25 magic damage, you know, on every attack. We'll take it. Or never. Or never. Mjolnir. I don't like Mjolnir here too much. I think anti-mage's magic resistance is a little bit too high for that really to make sense. They do also, on top of that, have the Viper, who also got increased magic resistance. Like, against two heroes that are pretty fantastic against magic, it just seems like not the best option to go for something that is so reliant on it. Oh shit, hit him. Hit him! Damn, how many did I miss? It's fine, we won this fight. That's a wipe. So I think my strategy did work. I missed a lot of attacks in there, I'm not sure why. He doesn't have any evasion, right? Why did I miss my attacks? Really, really weird. Radiance? Does the Dragon Knight have a Radiance? I don't see any Radiance damage.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I mean, they broke.
Maybe it wasn't
that
me
attack
missing,
was
maybe it
split
was
shot.
me getting missed on. It was a bit of a messy fight, so I'm not entirely sure what happened. Right? Like, it might have just been that. It might have actually been the anti-mage attacking me and I missed him. Yeah, and the Viper breaking away my split shot was kind of annoying. Overall, I think my strategy worked out pretty well, though. I do need a little bit more damage, but that's where the MKB is gonna come in.
The flames rush forth.
Check the summary. It doesn't show me anything about that, but yeah, there's no radiance. I ended up taking a lot of damage. Look at that. Like, I soaked up so much fucking damage right there. You know, with the mana shield, with all the healing. It's not too surprising. Still kind of sick. It's a shame I wasn't there for all of the experience. You know, Anti-Mage and Dragon Knight, they all died after I died. So, you know, this guy got all of the experience. I would have liked to level up to level 25. Because it would have not quite gotten me there, but relatively close. And that would have been kind of awesome. Oh well. You know. Did I just accidentally block that, Mabi? Ooh. Yeah, glimpse him out of here. Ooh, not great. There's the finger. It's not the best fight for us. Quite possibly the worst fight for us, though. They're disengaging, yeah. Alright, well, we gotta stall a long ass time here. We are having some problems. Like, one of our biggest issue here is actually just that we keep getting these fights where my team just kind of goes in and dies before we, like, do anything. Like, when I'm not there, or when just, I don't know, people are generally missing. And also generally not fights you want to take. Just not good fights for us. Rubik has finger? Does he? Oh, let's go. That's kind of good. Oh, this is pretty bad though. Attack. Fuck. Did they get us? Oh man.
Your middle barracks are under attack.
Oh, this might be it.
Structures are fortified.
Yeah, I tried. I don't really know what I could have done differently. I can outfarm the anti-mage. I don't think this has anything to do with my lack of farm.
Bottom barracks are under attack.
I was easily keeping up with him. Problem was that we kept having really, really bad fights that were hugely in their favor. It's not over yet though. Yeah, like this kind of situation. This is not good for us. And no remnant down. Oh no, there is one. Okay. It's not over yet. Alright.
Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower has fallen. Your bottom shrine is under attack.
Okay, so we have our team back now.
Your top shrine is under attack. Your top
What I really just need is like a fight where we actually have the entire team and I get to cast my ultimate. It's like here's the here's the trick to the situation, you know, you gotta get the stone gaze going on. Okay. Ooh. Spooky. Ooh, yeah, you got deleted, dude. So that's not good. We don't need much more for an MKB. I'm not keeping buyback, I don't think so. I think keeping buyback here is kind of delaying losing, not so much actually actively trying to win. Well, sometimes you just gotta go for like the power upgrade. Some just more important here, I think. Don't chase. Why are you so aggressive again? We're down a hero. Yeah, we can't do anything about it. Like, let them have Roshan. What are we going to do? If we go in, we die. It's just sometimes you just gotta let them have it. You gotta let them have him and then have it and then hope you beat them in the fight. It's better than going in for a really bad fight and just all dying there.
With power comes vengeance.
Yeah. Keep that back for now, actually. Can't finish up my item. Everybody's dead. It's just not enough damage, man. With just me. Oh, he's got the edges. Alright, I've got split shot, uses modifiers, boys. We're ready. We are ready. We can take on anyone. Feel like against Megas, I should just get casual lightnings. Okay, I need MKB. I am missing every single attack. Just... Oh. Keep going, dude. Damn it. The lifesteal was almost enough. Oh, man. Feels bad. Feels bad. Well, I don't know. I still kind of like that game. But yeah, like the biggest problem was really here. Like they're just basically nothing on our supports. It's just not something you can do anymore. Not these days. I don't mean to talk shit. I'm just like trying to like point out what we could have done better. Right? But yeah, I was keeping up with the anti-mage. I was keeping up just fine. Like just when we started losing, that's when it stopped. Alright. Anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a rating on the video. I wish you all happy holidays.